Hey, how's it going? Part 2. Note to self. Don't unplug the Motorola while you're recording or it'll just stop and drop your recording. So, at the end of part 1, I had said I was going to look up Haterarian energy, and here is what it says. Haterarian energy is showing up in modern movements focused on what the hell? Where did the thing I was just looking at go? Hold on. God, I hate it when that happens. Alright. Nope. You're the one I don't want. Leave me alone. Okay. Haterarian energy refers to a concept in New Age spirituality, particularly among starseeds, describing a type of pure, unconditional divine love associated with beings from the Haterarian star system, often linked to learning healthy boundaries and self-love, but can also refer to Hadean energy, a real-world industrial tech company. That's not what we're talking about. Different spelling. Why they have anything to do with each other, I don't know. So I'm just going to read some bullet points that are here. Spiritual New Age context. Origin, believed to come from the Hadarian. I was giving it a whole nother syllable. Hadarian. Oh, wait a second. I was giving it a whole nother syllable. So yeah, Hadarian energy. Believed to come from the Hadarian system known as lovers of the cosmos, or beacons of pure love. Characteristics. See unconditional love in everyone, often leading to difficulty with boundaries and codependency. That sounds like the opposite problem I've been having with what I was saying earlier. Purpose, to learn self-love and establish healthy relationships, realizing that love originates within. Associated with starseeds, a concept where individuals believe their souls originated from other star systems to help Earth. Okay, well, that's interesting. Never had heard of the Hadarians until right now. So, I like that philosophy. That, I mean, I feel like that aligns with what I feel and want for, like, myself and everyone, you know? Okay, so let me read here. The Hadarians are believed to be beacons of pure, divine, unconditional love who see love in all people and situations. Isn't that funny? Like, that's what I need to be doing. Thanks for tying that bow. As a result, they can find it hard to have boundaries. Wait, what? They can find it hard to have boundaried? It's close to S. Boundaries. Interdependent, healthy relationships, because they only see the unconditional nature of those they meet. That sentence kind of lost cohesion. I hope you can follow that with me. The lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body. To learn self first. To learn self-love first, I think, and then establish healthy relationships with others. To remember that the love they seek is already within them. That they truly do have the love all on their own. It's interesting that this particular concept is coming up right now because earlier today I was thinking about my own personal life, and I was like, and even beyond like the prescriptive nature of what I'm about to say, I don't mean it that way, but I was gonna say, I was thinking that I just need to like be my own soulmate because I'm just tired with people. Just like they are not trying to love the same way I do or that I would like to, and I'm looking at this and these Hadarian people are kind of like how I feel, but I think the reason it hasn't worked is because no one's reciprocating in kind, this doesn't seem like that far out to me, like it had to be like a concept. What I've was read about the Hadarians just sounds like what you should be doing if you love someone. So like, what's the problem? But that, I think, takes a little bit more letting down of boundaries for a lot of us than we're we're ready to let go of, like I've said it many times before. Showing love and just being like in the state of loving for everybody and everything is hard for people to take, I think, on like the personal level, like to bring all of that to the focus on a person. I don't know, like it just seems like it's too much or something. And not to get all totally personal about details, because none of your business, but I feel like that's what I've learned is that, like, in almost every way, to just be like all about love is really hard for people. Like in whatever capacity, it's hard to just like really give yourself to it, surrender to it. There's always like a little like just in case, or this might happen, like part of you that's connected to it failing, and it's just like back there like a tail that's hidden inside your pants or something, so the other person doesn't really know about it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously at some point they're gonna realize you have a tail. So maybe it's like your tail in another dimension, like it's not visible here. Anyway, let me finish reading this. Okay, so the lovers of the cosmos, they dive in fast. They're here to learn how to love while in a separate body, to learn to love self first, and then establish healthy relationships with others. To remember that the love they seek is already within them, that they truly do have the love all on their own. The message of this card is to review the ways you may need to establish healthier boundaries. Perhaps you're in a codependent relationship in which you may be losing your sense of self. It's common for starseeds to dive deep into relationships, particularly with those who feel safe and familiar at a soul level. Perhaps you're in a relationship in which you give more than you receive, or perhaps there's a certain volatility to it and you're always unsure where you stand. This card is assigned to do a relationship review and see what energetic agreements you made, consciously or unconsciously, to acknowledge if you are there, to acknowledge if there are relationships in which you feel anxious or powerless, in which you do not feel in which you don't feel like it's safe to relax and just be you. To assess if there are any places of inadequacy that you've used a relationship to soothe and cover up. Starseed Soul Inquiry. Do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? How can you develop a deeper love for yourself? I have actually a thought on that Starseed Soul Inquiry question. Do you lose yourself in relationships? If so, how? I think what happens with me is that I love in a certain way, and then I am expecting something in return, and it hasn't looked like what I'm expecting yet. So, I think it's safe to say it probably goes both ways, but it just hasn't worked out. Just hasn't worked out. It's been a lot of lessons on what not to do. Ow! Jeez. Okay, so it sounded kind of like I was talking a lot about romantic relationships, but this family unit that I spoke of is a relationship, and their codependency, is, I feel like the three heads stuck together, the adult heads, are still they're so concerned with whatever the matters are concerning the child in the picture, who, if you notice, is off. She's not just a head, she's like a separate whole entity all to herself, away from the group. So that just tells me the codependency is more about them than it is about her, which I guess is kind of sad. Anyway, on to the next card. Earth School. Okay, I'm just going to let you look at it because my pareidolia has been going haywire, and it takes me a long time to even tell what the heck I'm actually looking at lately. I'll look at a picture, and it's like a magic eye picture, which I never did. I didn't learn how to see them until after I'm no longer able to do the thing. So I've never seen one. But that's what it feels like. I'm looking at something, and what I'm looking at is not making sense until, I don't know why it started doing this, but after a couple of seconds, everything just sort of the correct shape and what I'm supposed to be seeing is there. So I don't know where the other stuff that I see is coming from, but that's a thing. And I don't know if it's brain damage or what. Okay, so what's confusing to me is looking at this, and it's going to look different on camera. It looks like this woman is diving out of a little hole in the sky. Wait, where is it? In there somewhere. Where's her feet? Okay, so, yeah, there's her feet coming out of this sort of lit up circle. I don't know what that's about. And she does not have wings. So you're just like Icarus or something. I don't know. I'm just going to give you another look. I'm not getting a clear anything off of this. I mean, I'm getting things, but they're not making sense. So let me just look and see what the book says. Earth School. Okay, Earth School, and the subtitles on this card are Life Lessons. soul growth, study, higher learning. Those all sort of touch on what I was just saying about all of the relationships being a lesson. And I guess you get those to prepare you for when you're ready to meet the soulmate or whatever, I don't know. Because everything is about, like, not necessarily what you know or what you do, but where your vibration is, like how well you can attune to the other person favorably. So, okay, the subtitles are life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Planet Earth is a great institution. Planet Earth is a great initiation for the soul and life. For the soul and life lessons are the curriculum for which we enroll. These aren't one-time lessons, but themes we choose to circle around, deepening our experience of them. So by circle around, I guess they mean like those times when you're having the same thing happen over and over again and you feel like you're going around in a circle. Where'd it go? Circle around, deepening our experience of them as we make our way through the spiral of life. Life lessons aren't only about getting it right, they're also about getting it wrong, from which you can learn a lot. Remembering that Earth is a planet of polarity helps with this understanding. Each year, the study deepens more and more. If you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. So there's that thing I was talking about in the beginning where I'm just having such a hard time reconciling, or I guess I should say in part 1, since I accidentally shut off the recording. But that's what I was talking about in part 1, like having such a hard time reconciling these like presidents that I feel like are doing such damaging things. And it's like, I had one sort of experience with Lincoln, and it was like I had asked the question, why does he like Reagan? And he himself answered me, and what I got was because he's like one of the bad guys that takes on being the guy that like people end up hating, and they do things that hurt people because then you can find your way out of them, find your way out better into a better situation. So I mean, the things that are really hard to get past, really hard to swallow, really hard to take, are not maybe fun and great in the moment, but as a result of what they are, later down the line, things can improve in a big way. And that's kind of what the saying is, like, you remember why you're here. You're not here like to just eat Cheetos. You're here to complete some activity that's gonna contribute to the greater good. So yeah. Okay, let me find my place. Life lessons, we're getting around. Remembering that Earth is a planet of polarity helps with this understanding. Each year the study deepens more and more. If you pull this card, I already read all of this. If you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. Try not to look at difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as opportunities for soul growth. If you can find a way to grow and soften your heart through the highs and lows, your soul is most definitely growing, which is the whole point. Pulling this card can also mean that you're being called to embark on a new area of study or growth. This could be through structured learning such as university, school, or training course. If you're having difficulties in a relationship, you're being reminded that these are opportunities for soul growth. After all, relationships are known as the number one way we grow as souls while we're here on Earth. Okay. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to learn and grow? That's not up to me to answer. So here is the next card, and it is Star Family. You're part of a team of souls. Call in support is the subtitle. Whoopsie. Well, whatever. You can still know that. It's fine. Okay, where is this one? Star Family. Subtitles are You're part of a team of souls. Call in support. Okay. Oh. Want to see the card? So, that almost looks like a big old flower spitting out seed spores. But what I think it is some kind of creation nodule that's spitting out souls that are on their way. They're going to sail through space super fast in their energetic form and walk into some people, or, step into a birth, and voila, here you are. So let me read. At some stage, we were each part of a soul cluster. So I guess that's what that was. A gathering of souls who broke away from one another to experience themselves individually. Those who are part of your soul cluster are part of your soul family, star family. Your star family are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together. Your souls were once actually one. It's very common for star family members to incarnate at similar times to work with anchoring a similar frequency of light and to cross paths with each other. You know that someone is part of your star family when you feel that you know and remember them from the moment you meet. They feel instantly familiar and comfortable. Time both passes quickly and stretches when you're with them. You feel more yourself and them than with anyone else. It can sometimes feel like looking in the mirror because, in a way, you are. Often you'll go out of your way to help those in your star family, instinctively knowing it's a part of your path. When a star family member dies, you feel it very deeply regardless of how long you knew them. A certain soul mourning or soul breaking occurs. Think about people in your life who do you feel is part of your star family? Think of the people in your life. Who do you feel is part of your star family? If this card comes up in a spread, it's likely you've met someone who is part of your star family, or you're about to. Starseed Soul Inquiry. Who do you think is from the same star family as you? How can you call upon them for support? That is a good question. I don't know. I would say, well, I guess I do know. My good friend that I was just on the phone with before I started doing this for like 3 hours. We had a very good conversation, and we answered a bunch of questions that we had for each other, but it was weird how they all kind of corresponded together, like to it was just all of this. Well, this connects to this, and this connects to that. Anyway, so the last card I have here is "You're Not for Everyone." Boy, have I thought that before. So there is the picture, and this is another one of those times where I don't know what the heck I'm looking at for a second. I gotta turn it around and bring it in closer. Okay, so there's a person, and they're standing on another promontory again. What is it with all these people in the contemplative rock structure hangouts? What's going on? They have a big cape, I guess, that is blowing out behind them. And for some reason, I don't know why it's so dark, they have on like a white frock, I guess. Oh, no. Their frock is actually the same color, same dark color. I don't know. I don't understand fashion. I don't know what's happening there. And then they are in front of, like, I don't know. Well, okay, what is happening here? It's like, is this like a Volkswagen vehicle that someone, like an old bug, a beetle, that someone is sitting inside of, looking out on the scene? Like, that looks like a car, the inside of a car. Like, there's a door, there's the roof. Anyway, and then, where the heck is she? Where can you go to see, like, melting red rocks? I don't understand. I guess I don't have to understand. It's probably not... The thing I'm focusing on is probably not the important thing. Okay, so let's see what "You're Not for Everyone" has to say. Well, that was easy to find. "You're Not for Everyone," and the subtitles are "Embrace your weirdness, face your true north." I'm just going to read before I have comments. "The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, just won't like you. But it's also filled with those who will love you fiercely. They are your people. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince others of your value. They won't ever want what you're selling. Don't try to convince them to walk alongside you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs, and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds that will take precious time to heal. You're not for them, and they're not for you. Politely wave them on and continue on your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen it by rolling yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. Pulling this card means you're being called to embrace your uniqueness, to your own weirdness, to let the world see who you really are, to reveal your multifaceted, multidimensional nature, not to dim your light according to who is in your presence, to own all parts of yourself so that your people, the ones who are the same kind of weird as you, can recognize you when you cross paths. Starseed Soul Inquiry: how can you embrace your weirdness and not care much about what people think? Practice. Takes practice, at least from my point of view. So, since I managed to cut off the first part of this, I referenced something that I said about someone in the first video, or the first part, and that was that I was talking about presidents that are just, including the one we have now especially, do things that are just like unacceptable to me, and say things and cause things to happen to people in their lives that just inflict pain and trauma and wound people. And it's like so hard to get past the idea even though I know what I know, it's so hard to get past the idea that they're that way and still understand that, like, the purpose, there is a purpose behind them being that way, and it is for everyone that comes along in their wake to repair that damage. And like the book said, sometimes wounds inflicted take a long time to heal. And so, rather than stretching it out and making it take forever, I really had to just overcome this for a second time in my life, feeling that, like, I can see no light in this person's heart. I can see nothing good about them, except thank them for their service, because somebody has to play these roles of the terrible people. So it really took me a longer time to get here than the first time, but I think that's proportionate. Anyway, just wanted to clear up that bit of information, because I know sometimes I make these and it seems like one part will get watched but not the other part, and so I don't know, just if they're going to be standalone, I'll try to make it like as comprehensible as possible. Anyway, I'm very tired now, so I am going to stop doing this and say thank you and good night.